Howdy folks, welcome back. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday and a safe new year. We are heading into 2025 and I'm really excited about it. And I wanted to make a little video, just kind of recap of what went down in 2024, both with me and my business, but we're going to talk a little bit about the motorcycle industry as a whole because things are really crazy right now. It's 2008, 2009 era stuff is happening as far as dealers closing, manufacturers having to file bankruptcy. That stuff is crazy and it's unfortunate and I hate seeing it. And I am thankful, not because I'm a genius or whatever, but I timed it pretty nice where with me closing my open to the public commercial shop and going, downsizing the business a little bit and specializing has really helped me survive everything that's going on because there are so many shops that are closing. It's really crazy. I wanted to, before I really get into any of that stuff, I wanted to thank everybody who watches my videos. My YouTube channel has really done great this year. I haven't made nearly as many videos as I wanted to, but I had to take a little bit of time off of social media, both YouTube, but also Instagram and Facebook. The algorithm stuff is super frustrating, and I have a pretty big following, actually a bigger following on Instagram and Facebook than I do YouTube. But as far as the algorithm stuff, our Instagram and Facebook are all over the place, and it's a pain in the butt. So I kind of had to take a little bit of time off. So I made some notes because there's a lot of stuff I want to go over. So yeah, transition year. We closed the shop last year, and basically the whole backstory with the shop, if you're new or you haven't been following along for years, I had the shop since 2019 down in Felton. My lease was up, and it was kind of a perfect storm where the year before I had gotten rid of the U-Haul business. The landlord actually took over the U-Haul business, and we renegotiated my lease. And he shortly learned that the U-Haul business isn't what he thought it was or was all cracked up to be. So only a few months after I signed a new lease basically for 2023 so he could kind of get his bearings about him, he started shopping around and he found a guy who was willing to pay more money for the building. And I don't blame him one bit because I'm a landlord myself. And that's just the way things go. Business is business. This guy, like I said, was willing to pay more money than I was, which was already ridiculous. We're talking like $4 plus a square foot. And that doesn't include utilities and insurance, which is almost impossible to get in California now for businesses, also for houses. But for businesses, for obvious reasons, theft is a huge one. So that happened, and I was really thankful that all that happened because I was working extremely hard to keep everything going, and it was successful, but I was married to the place. I couldn't sleep a full 8 hours because I would wake up and check the security cameras all the time because we had so many issues with theft and those kind of things that go along with having a business in California. And we're not even in a bad area, but when you're close to the coast, there's just issues. And if anyone else has been paying attention, things in California are kind of actually changing. With this last election, I think people are kind of finally hitting their limit, but I hit my limit a while ago. So no more commercial open to the public business for me. I want to not have to deal with that. So yeah, motorcycle industry wise, unfortunately, it has been a horrible year. I haven't seen the motorcycle industry suffer this much since 2008 and 2009. And that's actually the time I graduated from MMI and got into the industry. But I followed it close my whole life and all that. It is what it is. But as far as dealerships closing, KTM has filed bankruptcy or is in the process of it. I think Husky's going to go away. Gas, I believe, is for sale. And I think that it's probably going to get bought by a Chinese company. We'll see. The industry is suffering hugely. And I think that there's a lot of reasons for that. KTM they spread themselves really thin. They had 3 brands competing against each other and then 3 race teams, and it was messy. But let's be honest here, inflation has been crazy. When gas was you know, $5-6, whatever it was a gallon. I don't even pay attention. Eggs at one time were $9.99 a dozen at our local grocery store. So when you have inflation like that, people are going to stop spending money on toys first. So motorcycles, boats, RVs, it's just bound to happen. It's happened before. The market on this kind of stuff goes up and down. It's not like, you know, real estate where it's a little bit more steady, or the stock market. Vintage motorcycles and motorcycles in general, everything is up and down a lot. Not because I planned it, but I sold a majority of my collection in 2022 and 2023. I didn't 100% know that the market was going to do what it was doing, but the writing was on the wall. At the end of 2022, I had 33 motorcycles in my personal collection. So I really started getting aggressive about selling them, and I don't regret it. Prices have went down across the board on pretty much everything, including new bikes. And we'll get to that. 2024, the first year I've ever bought a brand new motorcycle. I've worked in the industry, like I said, since 2008, 2009. Harley Davidson, I've ridden Harleys primarily for the last 10 years, but I have other bikes as well. But I love Harleys. They're great bikes. And my dyno was getting long in the tooth. When Harley came out with the Low Rider ST, I fell in love, but they were really expensive. As far as the MSRP is around $23,000 on them, but the dealers were putting huge markups on them. So out the door, these things were 30 plus, up to 40 grand when they first came out. And I could not do that. I was not going to do that. But it was about a month before Sturgis, because I rode it to Sturgis this year. Prices had really started to come down because dealers started to get a ton of inventory. So I was able to go in and get a screaming deal. Like, I couldn't even believe it, on my Low Rider ST. So I bought my first brand new motorcycle, and I couldn't be happier with it. I think I'm at about 5,000 miles. Like I said, rode it to Sturgis this year. It was an amazing bike. As far as another thing that is, I think, a factor, especially in my little niche market of vintage motorcycles, one of the things that, as a business, that really affects us is not being able to get stuff. And California has sued companies, parts companies, so they don't want to ship stuff here. It's really complicated because, you know, I was doing a lot of older shovel heads. These bikes are pre-emissions, but yet when I go to order an S&S Super E, they don't want to ship it here. I can't get it through my distributor. I have to buy it on eBay or somewhere like that for a crazy amount of money over what my cost is as a dealer, and it takes twice as long and all that. That is a huge factor. And it's definitely something that guys like me have to account for, because if it takes 3 times as long to get parts, that will definitely affect your bottom line. So the frustration on that is real. So yeah, 2024, as far as the motorcycle industry goes, unfortunately, it was rough. And I'm hoping in 2025 things will get better. I think KTM is restructuring. They're going to get a little bit more responsible about their spending. I've seen some companies merge. I think Olin's and Brembo, one bought the other. So those are two really strong brands and products that I use. So hopefully those guys will be good. But overall, yeah, 24 was a rough year for the industry. Good year for me personally. But I'm not a prime example of the industry. I've slimmed down to where I'm only working on stuff I want to work on. I have no employees, and I'm not open to the public. So I lucked out. Like I said, I wasn't some super genius plan to sell my bikes when prices were high. And then also with the whole commercial building thing, the writing was on the wall. I looked at other places. I just didn't have the faith in California to change fast enough. And also, family-wise, I have two little kids, and I want to spend time with them, and I want to be around while they're little, and they still like me. So that's a huge deal. Oh, there was definitely some wins and losses as far as in my life in 2024. We can start out with some losses. A big loss for me this year was, if you guys have been following my channel for a while, you would see my friend Brent, who was my British motorcycle mechanic. He worked on British bikes for me, and we became really good friends, and he was a great guy. And unfortunately, he passed away in 2024. That was definitely a rough thing for the year, and Brent will be greatly missed. I am thankful for the time, as always. But man, that was a gut punch. I have a picture of him over there on my toolbox. I look at it every day, and losing Brent was that was a rough one for me. So a less of a bummer, but still a bummer in 2024 was, I told you guys a while back that I got involved with a motorcycle auction business called Moto Nexus. It was started by a friend of mine who is an older guy and is a motorcycle collector and sort of works in the tech world. Sort of. Basically, he had developed a website for selling motorcycles, which I was all about, and it wasn't going anywhere for him. So I came on board because of my expertise in selling motorcycles. I've literally sold thousands of motorcycles in the last, 15 years. So selling motorcycles is something that, my thing. So I came on board to improve the company and make it work. Well, we had some differences in opinion, and I'm going to take a lot of responsibility here. And I didn't ask enough questions. I thought one thing and reality was another thing, and it just didn't work out. I don't really have any hard feelings over it. I wasted a lot of time, which time is valuable, and that is unfortunate. But in my life, whether it's motorcycles or real estate or whatever I'm doing, I try to look at stuff like that as a seminar. It was a learning seminar. I did learn a lot. It's unfortunate that it didn't work out, but I did have to step away from Moto Nexus. And it is what it is. I'm moving on. I have some other stuff in the future that I'm going to do myself without any partner, because I've kind of learned that it's really hard to sell somebody else your vision, and it's really hard to explain how the internet works and how all this stuff works if you haven't actually done it. So I have done it. I continue to do it, and it's treated me really well in life. So I'm gonna just try to take that to the next level. And honestly, this level's pretty good too. I'm really happy with where I'm at right now, especially because of my family. Being able to be with the kids and around the kids and stuff so much more is great. So that kind of takes us on to the good. And like I already started saying, the good is I'm spending a ton of time with my kids.
Tattoos.
I don't have to work nearly as much because I don't have a crazy amount of overhead and payroll and blah, blah, blah. So the extra time that I get with my family is awesome. I've been very thankful for that. I got to refer to the notes here. The good. Like I said, I lucked out and I sold most of my vintage motorcycle collection when prices were really high, and now prices are low. Low prices are so low. Oh my gosh. I've bought not one, but two titled Harley Davidsons for $500 in the last couple months. Two of them. Prices are insanely low, so guess what I've been doing? I've been buying stuff. I've been buying stuff and I'm stashing it because guess what? Prices will go back up. And when prices hit such a low amount, if you can buy a titled Harley Davidson motorcycle for $500, buy it. Stick it in the corner. I'm telling you, down the road, it will be worth more money. And a lot more. Low prices have been great. My ST I talked about, I really love this motorcycle. Sturgis was amazing. I can't wait to go back to Sturgis. I met so many cool people. I had such a good time. You guys seem to enjoy it. If you didn't see the Sturgis video, I'll put a link to it in the description. But we had a blast. Jordan and I rode out. I met Scooter Tramp Scotty. That video went super crazy, got a ton of views. He's a great guy. He's actually from the town that I live in California, and we exchanged info and all that good stuff. So hopefully next time he's in this area, he'll stop by. I told him I had a full shop full of tools and tire machines and all that good stuff, and his eyes lit up. He was, place to change a tire in California. Write that down, you know. Another awesome thing that I did this year that I've never done before was RVs. I had gotten a couple RVs. Well, boys and girls, we did the old twofer. Holy, my God. Oh, I'm earning it today, boys. I'm earning it today. Friggin' nasty. Those were a challenge. I learned a lot on those, but what I didn't do was I didn't lose my butt. And that was amazing because RVs are really expensive. It was a big deal. So I had a lot of fun. I had a Arctic Fox fifth wheel camper and then a Class B Road Trek van, which the van I really dug into, and I wouldn't be opposed to buying another one just because I know so much about them now. Another thing in 2024 that I planned on doing and I didn't get to as much as I wanted to is passion projects. I did get a few of my personal projects done, never as many as I fully intended on, but that is going to be a thing for 2025. So let's talk about 2025. For 2025, I am going to be doing an extremely limited amount of service work for customers. I am going to focus on my stuff. I own all these bikes in here. I have bikes in storage. Like I said, I had 33 bikes a couple years ago. I got down to, I want to say around 8, and maybe we're climbing back up towards 30. No, halfway to 30, I think now. I don't know. I don't keep track as far as exact numbers, but we're buying. We're back in buy-in season. So 2025 is we're going to be out there aggressively buying stuff because the deals are hot right now. This bike right here I bought, and I'm going to make a whole video on this because you guys love the long form videos, but this bike I bought without fully inspecting and the motor seized. So we're going to be doing a cool build on this. I have a Sportster that we're going to do a hardtail chopper build on, and what I'd like to do is a raffle giveaway type of deal with that for the viewers here. We've never given away a motorcycle on the channel, so I was thinking that would be super fun. Let me know what you guys think if you want to win a Sportster. It'll be sick. I've been hoarding parts for this build because when I do it, it's going to be, wham bam. We're going to try to do it in like 2 weeks. I'm going to make one long form video on it. It's going to be great. My other business that I don't really ever go into on the channel is real estate. My wife is a real estate agent in California. She sells houses, but we also are real estate investors, and we don't invest in California, but we do invest where I'm from in Ohio. And that's why I'm back there a lot buying motorcycles. I haven't been buying motorcycles back there as much, partially because of shipping. The shipping costs, because of fuel and everything else, are through the roof, and prices are soft. So I haven't been doing that as much. But if gas goes back down to a couple bucks a gallon like it was, I don't know, the last time somebody was in office, I would really, really love to start doing that again, because it's a ton of fun. And then hopefully bike prices will go up as well. So we'll see on that. There's no guarantees on any of that stuff. I don't put a lot of faith in anybody. I don't think anyone's our savior per se, but it can't get much worse, I'll tell you that. Another personal project that I want to work on this year is my birth year 1987 FXR. I really like this motorcycle, and I've been tinkering with it, but I'd love to get it on the lift and fully dedicate a lot of time to it. My twin cam chopper, I've been doing a little bit here and there. I need to get some parts for it though, and I didn't want to just go fire down and spend a bunch of money. I've been able to find bikes really cheap lately, so I'm low-key looking for a wrecked bike that maybe I can pull the missing parts that I need off of. Something cheap, we'll see. If not, the parts on eBay have been getting cheaper too, and as someone who has an eBay store, and if you need anything, Mason George Motorcycles on eBay, yeah, eBay's been slow. Shipping, like I said, is through the roof, and it just is what it is, but I am uploading parts regularly. I'm just not going insane like I used to. Also, for a lot of locals who watch my stuff and hit me up about the shop, I'll put a little video in of the shop, what it looks like now. Oh boys, the place is looking rough. There's Tweaker Tom's little brother over there. Alright guys, so yeah, this is what the shop looks like now. The new dude was obviously not able to do anything that he wanted to because the county sucks or whatever. See, the stickers are still on the little door in there though. But my goodness, they are paying a ton of money for this place. Well, they cleaned up a bit. There was a pile of trash there. Basically, from what I've heard, and like I said earlier in the video, a guy leased it for more money than I was paying. And he had grand plans of putting, first it was food trucks, then it was a convenience store, it was frozen pizza. He had a lot of ideas, right? Well, I don't think that the county was going to let him do any of that. He ended up subleasing part of the building, and I just heard a couple days ago that that guy bounced. So it's just an unfortunate situation, and it kills me every time I go by and how dumpy it looks, because we used to try to keep it looking pretty good, keep the landscaping nice, keep the majority of the bums out of there, but unfortunately, it is a black eye on the community, just like the business next door, the gas station next door. The county was coming down on them. The owner of that place, he said, I've had enough. He filed bankruptcy and he bounced. Another person bought it, and apparently they opened when they weren't allowed to be open, and they were selling the old gas, and now they're closed again, and there's people in the parking lot with jackhammers. So it is a mess down there in Felton, and until Santa Cruz County starts being a little bit more business friendly, I just don't see it getting better. And as far as I'm concerned, I am not interested in playing that game. I'm happy here hanging out in the shop. I got my dogs and my family 20 feet away. There's no tweakers doing drugs in my parking lot, you know. Much happier doing this. So thanks for tuning in, guys. 2025 is going to be a really exciting year. I'm excited about it. I can finally focus a little bit more on doing YouTube and custom bike stuff and stuff that I love. And I'm not so worried about making a gazillion dollars anymore. I'm in a really good spot as far as that goes. And I'm thankful. And I'm thankful for you guys for tuning in and supporting my business. We're going to be doing some more merch and stuff like that for you. And I want to do some giveaway stuff to give back and have a lot of fun. So Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff. We'll see you real soon.
Wow. You see all the rides now.